Hi there. Hi, Jonathan. Thank you for joining me in Complicated Conversation today. I really appreciate you coming on board and doing this discussion or conversation because I think it's really time that we talk about so many issues, especially what's happening at Mizzou. So, hi guys. We're live on Periscope here at the University of Missouri. And my name is Merge, and I started doing Complicated Conversation it's like an offshoot of my dissertation, and I'm expanding it and engaging different communities and in conversations about the most pressing issues we are facing today. And I focus very much on the young generation because I truly believe that they hold the key to rebuilding the world and fixing the problems due to the action and inaction of my generation. So today I have Jonathan Butler. I am so honored to have you, and you are a strong voice on campus. A lot of young students, a lot of students look up to you and they view you as a leader. And so tell me a little bit about your background and what you do here on campus.
So my name is Jonathan Butler. It's flattering to be called a leader because that's something I struggle with, because for me it's always about the impact, it's always about the message of what we're trying to do. But I'm just a little black boy from Omaha, Nebraska.
What do you mean a little black boy? You are big.
and I hail from Omaha, Nebraska. I love my roots from the Midwest, and I came here to the University of Missouri to pursue my undergraduate degree at Mizzou, which I did get in marketing. So I do have a marketing background, and now I'm pursuing my graduate degree in higher education with the emphasis in educational leadership and policy analysis. So for me, I'm interested in how higher education works. Why do we have the governance systems that we have? Why do we have the policy systems that we have? Why do we have the campus cultures that we have? And then how can we change them to be more effective, to be more impactful, and be more positive for the next generations? Other information about me, I'm very passionate about humanity. I'm passionate about humanity getting back to this aspect of loving each other and really respecting each other for our differences and not shaming each other and not degrading or dehumanizing each other. And so that culture is something I'm really trying to break. So I do that through different social justice opportunities. So nationally, I'm a part of Black for Palestine, which advocates for the end to the occupation of Israel in Palestine. I'm also part of Justice Together, which is a national initiative to end police brutality. As well as on campus, I'm involved in several social justice organizations and collectives revolving around Black lives, advocating for Black lives, advocating for brown lives, and different things that are impacting marginalized communities.
And that is big. So you said you are a little black boy from Omaha. That is huge. That's why people really follow what you're doing, especially here at Mizzou. We have a lot of issues that's going on. It's been going on for a very long time, and that's based on my conversation with some of the students and the students that you know here on campus. There was like a list of things that's been given to the administration, and this is like from last year, I think. There was that list. It's a big list of issues and very important issues, but I think there's a feeling that these issues has been ignored for a very long time. And what's happening right now, especially with the groups, especially with the Black students and other minority groups on campus, they are now demanding action. And although people might say that it's past talking, I think what I would like to see and I hope to see is to broaden the discussion, continue the dialogue.
For me, it's so problematic to say that as a marginalized and oppressed person, again, being a black male in America and specifically in the state of Missouri, which is a former slave state, for me to continue to educate the majority, to continue to educate the white dominant culture and philosophies is burdensome, and that's not my job. And so when we've had, going back to 1935 with Lloyd Gaines being the first African American petitioning to join the university and having his list of demands. In 1969, we had LBC, the Legion of Black Collegians, with the black student government and the only black student government in the nation, advocating for rights and advocating for what Chancellor Lofton is trying to claim right now of increased black faculty, increased minority faculty, increasing diversity training. These are all things that have been brought to administrations prior, and there's just these lists of grievances. At this point, going back to what you mentioned with the 2014 list of demands, yes, a student group of marginalized students, so those who identify as Black, Latino, Latina, Native American, Asian American, LGBTQ. We had all these communities come together, and student leaders put together about 25 demands. What we ended up doing is we know that the institution has institutional amnesia sometimes, and so we narrowed it down to our top 8 demands. Our top 8 demands, and through those demands, that's what we call it, a call to action to the chancellor and his staff on December 8, 2014. Okay. So those are the demands that people are most recently aware of, but they're a conglomerate of all the demands that have ever happened at the university, and plus the ones that are most salient to us. So we've been asking for inclusion training and diversity training. We've been asking for increases in minority faculty. We've been asking for these things for years, beyond just me being here at the university as an undergrad, beyond like literally the first person of color getting here to the university. I've been asking for these increased opportunities for marginalized groups. And so for me, I'm open to having dialogue and continuing to talk about strategies, but what I'm not open to is talking about the issues, because you know the issues, these are not new issues, and you know what we need. Now we need action. We actually need you to implement things in a strategic way that will benefit the next generation.
But don't you think that the issues, do you really think that they fully understand the issues? Because they might be coming from, their background is different from yours and my background. So if you don't make them understand, probably the understanding is not in the same level. So if we continue the dialogue, don't you think that we can come up and have that understanding on the same, you have the same understanding of issues? Because right now, if you say you don't want to talk about the issues anymore, well, they probably don't really get those. Just because if you know that they have different backgrounds, they have, so what do you think is the best thing to do if we stop the discussion? Or you pretty much say you're not going to talk about the issues anymore because they should have known these issues.
Yeah, and to further clarify what I mean, when I talk about I'm not going to talk about the issues anymore, I'm not going to continue to go back into my oppression and my lived experiences and continue to relive that pain just so that they can hear my story for the 50th time and still not do anything. There's a certain aspect of dialogue which I'm willing to have about strategies. Okay. Because again, like I said, the demands and these things and strategies, they even had a task force come out in, I believe, 2005 or 2006, which from faculty told you what you needed to do, which reinforced what students of color have been saying for years. And still, administration didn't listen to faculty members who had the empirical data, who had all this research on top of just students protesting in the streets. So there's been this information, and so I do believe there's an educational piece, but it's not my job as a oppressed and marginalized student to educate administration. They need to be in a position, because they're getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to do their job, and part of their job is educating themselves on these issues and these communities of color and marginalized communities so that they can better understand their constituents and their demographics. Because just like any politician, mayor, any other position, you have to understand the community you're serving to best effectively serve them, and that's what administration have yet to do. They have yet to actually take the time to educate themselves, because I still have class.
Right.
I still have students that I teach. I still have a lot of different responsibilities that I'm supposed to be here for my education, and so the extra part of educating administrations on my struggles, on my lived experiences, is I don't view that as that dialogue.
Right.
I don't view that as my responsibility, because as someone in a dominant position, and your job is literally in student affairs or with operations or with campus culture and policy to change those things to make it better, you should be listening to your constituents. And that's why I say we have the demands. We have students who are continuing to protest and organize,
right.
And so it's time for action. I'm willing to sit down and have strategic talks about, we've already talked about diversity and inclusion. Let's finalize what this plan looks like. But to continue to talk about my story and my pain, I just can't do that anymore, because it's burdensome.
Right. So pretty much you're wanting them to be accountable, because it's their job. They're getting paid for doing it, and of course you expect them to have the understanding already, and so you're willing to sit down and like maybe have the strategy, the solution.
It is our duty